Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to a new little tutorial. In this one we're going to be building this beautiful mage tower today, and I'm going to be cutting the video into 3 separate parts. The first one is going to be building the tower, so if you only want the tower, you can just watch the first part. Second part is going to be adding the house to the tower, and the third part is going to be the foliage outside, and placing the floors inside so you kind of get an idea for how you can decorate the inside of this place. Alright, so one little thing I have to say before we start is that I am using World Edit, so you will see me walking around with my wooden axe and pickaxe, and you'll see me using commands and I'll explain how they work. If you don't have World Edit, you can build this build as well. All you have to do is place all these blocks by hand. So it'll speak for itself. There's no weird tricks going on except over here, but I'll show you ways to get around those as well. Alright, yeah, I hope you're ready, and let's get into it. Okay, let's check it out over here. First of all, if we're going to be building the tower, we're going to need to use some circle templates. So, if you look at the base of this tower, it's a little bit hard to see, but this tower actually goes 5 blocks straight, and then it has 1 block here, and then it goes 5 blocks straight again. It's not really visible in here, but see, it does happen. 5 blocks, 1, and then 5 blocks that way. So we're going to be copying that over here. I already marked the center of my tower. You can build it wherever you want, and I'll teach you how to blend it into the terrain. So, first of all, first command already, starting with World Edit, do /HCyl, which stands for hollow cylinder. And we're going to go orange, because we want it to be made out of orange wool blocks. And we want it to be a radius of 4, and we want it to be a height 1. Okay, so here you see our 5-1-5 circle. You could just as well build this by hand, but I choose to use World Edit, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to make it 4 tall, like that. So now we have a nice little foundation to work with. So if I just fly over at this level and check if it's high enough, you can see that yes, it's indeed the correct height. And now you can go up to another layer. So this layer in here is 3 blocks, then 2 blocks, and then 2 blocks, and then 3 blocks. So if I were to build that by hand, it's going to be 3 blocks. It's going to be 2 blocks that way, and then 2 blocks that way, connecting into like a little L shape, and then 3 blocks again. Oh, that's strange. Like that. Okay, now we can kind of approximate that using World Edit, because I want to stack that up a couple times as well. Let's see, how many times do I want that to go up? It needs to go up 1, 2, 3. 3 blocks. Okay. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to make it 3.8. Sorry, not 3.8 tall. I'm making the radius 3.8. Alright. So you see that this has now kind of created the other kind of circle that we have over here. And it's stacked it up 1, 2, 3. Oh, we actually need to cut off 1 layer. Alright. If you did the same as me, you can just leave it on. The tower will be a bit taller, but this is how I did it. Okay, so from here on, we have a 3-1-1-3 kind of circle. So that's exactly what I left over here. 3-1-1-3. So I'm going to build up here. I'm going to do the same, and I'm going to say 3.7 should be the right amount. I'm going to make it 4 tall. So now it missed the corners. So now it'll look like this. And if we just fly over and check if the height is correct, you can see that on top of this we'll build the little cap. So yeah, this is correct. And then above that, it continues in just a 5-5 kind of circle shape. So that'll be, if we build it by hand, just 5-5 like that. And that all the way around. Now I don't know if we can actually approximate that using the circle tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another command. So I'm going to place a block here, left click it, break the block again. and then place a block here, right click it, and break the block again. So now we have selected a little square from here to here, and now all we have to do is look up and do /stack, and stack it 4 times. So now it has stacked the layer on top of each other a couple times, so now we have exactly the same height as this tower. Then above that, the next layer will be 3, 1, 3, so we can build that. And I think we can do that using world edit. So if we do the cylinder just radius 3, that'll be a 3, 1, 3. So let's see how tall that needs to go. It needs to go up until here, like that. Okay, so 1 more layer. So that's in total 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of this one. And it's a weird rendering bug. I don't know what causes that. Okay, but now, anyways, we have the shape of our tower ready, except for the bottom, right? So the way I do the bottom usually is I just fill in all the spaces I have, like that. But now there's one thing missing, because we still want these areas to be fixed, because if we just make this, it'll look like the tower is built on top of the existing terrain and not a lot of effort has gone in. So what you always have to do is make your build extend down so it nicely tucks into the terrain, like that. That'll make your build feel like it's really grounded and actually based in the world that you're building. Right. Next step is to grab another tool, not the axe, but another tool. You can use a wood pickaxe like me. And we're going to be painting in this structure. So if you're building in vanilla, I hope you didn't start yet, because you're going to have to take down all the wool again. Because if you're building in vanilla without world edit, all you have to do is build the shape we're going to make now. Basically this shape, but then using blocks of andesite, stone, and stone bricks over here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do /brush to make a brush that we can paint with. It's going to be a brush sphere. So we want to paint in a ball, and we're going to make it the materials stone, andesite, stone _ bricks. Like that. Don't forget to not put a space between the commas. Press enter, and then when we do right click on the ground, you can see that we're building stone balls. That's not what we want to do, because then the tower will get a really weird shape. What we want to do is we want to do /mask orange, so that we can only paint in the orange area. So then what you have to do is really satisfying. It's to just paint the entire building with the stone bricks. You can do that even quicker by going back to your brush and to say make a radius of 6 blocks. That makes it a lot quicker. Okay, so when you've painted all of these bricks, we're ready to get to the top of the build. Because I like to block out my shapes first and add details later. So I used smooth sandstone on top, so you can just get that to start with. And you can see that if we think away these logs, you can see that we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of shape on top. So I'm going to build that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And this will create a nice little overhang for your tower, right? Because what you're maybe used to doing is placing it like this. And building up the circle like that, just 1 block bigger. You can do that. I think with small towers like this one, it looks a bit clunky if you do that. The top will look way too big, so I choose to just extend it out a little bit, so only over the corner. And only after you've expanded out of this corner, you can expand out of here, but we're not going to do that. Alright, so how tall is this? I believe it's going to be 3 blocks tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, actually. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place blocks again and select this little cube. Like that. I'm going to do /stack 3. That'll put 3 layers on top of this, so we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now that's already another very important shape done. If you want, you can leave it like this and forget the roof, I suppose. But I'm going to be building a roof. And this roof is a circular roof, as you see, and it contains a 1, 2, 3 by 2 by 2 by 3 kind of pattern. So we're going to be creating that. And because that radius is bigger than the radius of the tower, we're going to be having a 1 block space in between on the sides. So I'm going to be going over here, like that. I'm making 3, 2, 2, and then 3 again. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing a little trick with you. I'm only going to be building 1/4 of the roof. So I'm only going to be building this quarter of the roof. If you're building in vanilla, you have to, of course, build it all. Build it in whichever way you want. I'm going to be building a quarter first, because we can basically copy those quarters and paste them around real easily. So, okay, on to the next step. We have the slabs around. Then we grab a spruce staircase. And on the sides, we'll go staircase, slab, staircase, slab. So that'll be a really easy pattern to replicate. So staircase, slab, staircase, slab, and then the other thing on the other side. So staircase, slab, staircase, slab. Okay, that was layer 1. Then behind that, we'll have 3 slabs up, right? So we have 1, 2, 3 slabs up, staircase on top of the staircase, and then 4 slabs up in the middle. So a staircase on top of the staircase. Then we have 1, 2, 3 slabs up. 1, 2, 3. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 slabs up. Okay, so now it'll look like this. Then we'll fly back and we'll see that on the sides here we get a block with the staircase. And then we're going to get 3 slabs on top of that, and in this corner we have a full block. So, okay, I'm going to go over here, and I said full block with the staircase, full block with the staircase. We were going to have 3 slabs here, and then a full block here. Okay, looking great. And then we'll go over back to our template, and we'll see it's just a block with the staircase, block with the staircase, and then 2 blocks. Then we can actually make this 2 fences. Okay, so we get a block and a staircase. We get 2 blocks and 2 fences. So we grab the fence, like that. Okay, so now just stand over here. So if you want to copy that pattern, you can pause the video now and try to copy this pattern as good as you can. You can also make up your own design. You can switch around the materials. Maybe you want a brick roof. Go ahead. I really don't care. Alright, so now for the little world edit trick. We're going to left click up here. We're going to fly down here. Okay. So just underneath the roof, round about where the sandstone starts, around the corner. So we'll do /pause 2. So that would be as if we right clicked where my feet are. So our little cube now goes from up there to where I'm standing here. And then if we go to the top of the tower, stand exactly in the middle, we're going to do copy. So now we copied this entire thing into our clipboard. And we want to move the copy 90 degrees to the right. So we're going to do / rotate 90. So now our template has been rotated that way. And all we have to do is /paste. And there it is. So I'm going to do that again. Rotate and paste, rotate and paste. And there we have our roof. Easy as that. Okay. So the tower. Let's start with decorating the top first. So the most important things that are happening on top is these logs, combined with the windows, of course. So these logs act to make a little contrast in here, right? So if we place them here, it kind of frames the place our window is going to be in, over there. And it kind of gives us some contrast, some light and some dark, and a little frame around it to make the picture whole. So a little trick you can do is you can do the /repl1, and that'll give you a replace tool. So now this pickaxe, if you right click it on any block, it will replace it with block number 1, which is stone. If you left click another block, you select that block. So now we've selected grass blocks. If you then right click, we can replace stuff with grass blocks. It's an extremely handy tool if we want to replace some blocks. So we're gonna left click the log and I'll paste it all in here. Just like that. Of course in vanilla you can just build this in whichever order you want to. If you're building it in survival, for example. Okay, so we've built our little frames now. And as you can see over on that side, you see that the logs go down 2 blocks even further. So we can replace those as well. Like that. Over there. So that's all 4 sides done. And it contains the staircases underneath them in the corners like this. Okay. So, what is next? I'd say that we start to take a look at this little detail right here, and I'll explain to you why I put this here. So, when we were building this tower, I was talking about maybe making the circle this way, right? Because then you get a nice ledge, and the ledge is going to make it more readable. It's going to say this is the top, this is the bottom, and there's a ledge, so it sticks out a little bit. We can create that illusion. You just go type in stairs, and we get our stone brick stairs, we get our stone stairs, and our andesite stairs. Because then we can replace these blocks with their respective stairs, like this, in the 2 sides, like this. Amazing. So now this will start the ledge here, and I want the ledge to be kind of an archway. So we also need a smooth sandstone staircase. I'm going to place that upside down here. And while you're at it, also just add the windows, like that, like that. Okay, so what this does is it creates the contrasting ledge. So now it looks like our tower is actually bigger on top, and it's a separate part, and the top is separate from the stone, as you can see, and it's in a nice arch-shaped way. You could have also done it like this. Works as well, it's a bit more flat, and I like the arch a little bit better. So I'll keep it like this. This way, the sandstone will also create a little lip for the window to sit on, like this, and that frames the window really nice if you ask me. I always try to have something special beneath the window to act as a windowsill or just something of a detail. So, speaking of the windows, let's go there. This window is a very easy design. It just contains some slabs with some fences and then a slab again. You could place it like this and actually make a little roof over the window, but that makes no sense. It's right underneath the roof. So I think this looks just fine. So let's go over here. Place the slabs, place the fences. I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. Now what you could do is you could build one side and then copy that over with the world edit trick that we did before. But I don't think this is too much work. As you'll see, the tutorial isn't too long, so it's fine. Alright, so that's the top of the tower done. And now we can get down into the details on the shaft, by lack of a better word, on the stone part of the actual tower. So we're going to need our 3 types of staircase again. I'm going to show you where I place them. So, this staircase here, we're going to be placing the staircases going that way into the building. And just select a random one. Doesn't really matter. You can make them all stone brick. I just use random ones. And I think that looks fine. Okay. Then we're going to go down here to the bottom, do the same. Same procedure, just select random stairs, place them in there, like that. Doesn't really matter which ones you pick. Okay. And then the special staircases are the ones over here. Those are all stone brick. I'm going to be placing them in a pattern like this. So, they're going to be staircases up to the side, then upside down in the middle, and a straight up one on top. It's going to have a window here, and a staircase underneath. So I do that all in stone brick to kind of signify how made this is. It's man-made. Someone has made this deliberately with bricks to get this nice little design in their tower. And as I said, I always do something special underneath a window. So this time I place the staircase right side up so that you can look downwards from the inside, right? If I place a staircase like this, it's easy to look down if you're standing here at the window. You're not blocked by the entire block on the ledge there. This also makes the window more visible from the outside. It makes it feel a little bit bigger, even though it's only a 1 block window. I'm going to place normal glass in there. By the way, these glass textures are something I made myself, and I will link the resource pack. I have them in the description. It also has some other things. I'll make a review video of it once, but I think you'll enjoy the resource pack. It's very vanilla, except for a couple things. Okay, so let's continue. There's more windows, as you can see. As you can see on this side, we have the brick stairs, then another block, then 2 blocks of window. That is quite easy, just like that. Just 1, 2, and then a window. Oh, don't forget to place this in. 1, 2, window. 1, 2, and then a window. Just like that. Now you could do something with these corners. If you wanted, you can place like stairs like this, but that'll kind of ruin the rotational symmetry, so I'm going to leave it off. But of course, feel free to do whatever you feel like. Okay, then there's one more final window on top. So there's going to be the stone brick, then an upside down stone brick, glass, and then a block again. So block, upside down stairs, window. And this will make the window feel really small from down below, because it's only 1 block tall. It's only 1 block wide. And the staircase on top kind of helps to make the window be a bit less deep, but also still look very small like that. So I have the idea that that window is definitely bigger than that window, right? It feels very small because the ledge of this block is in the way from us seeing the entire thing. Okay. So that is everything that you have to do for the tower part. I'll place in a door as well. Door is going to be on the first layer, like that. I'm going to be placing 2 blocks, and then an andesite staircase. Polished andesite, like that. And we're going to make this all andesite in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do /fill, polished, andesite. Then it's going to fill the entire floor with andesite. Then add a little door. Grab your stone bricks, stone brick wall. And I like to use spruce for this. You can use whatever block you feel like. Again, spruce kind of breaks up the grey, adds a little color. So there you go. If you only wanted to build the wizard tower, there you go. Your wizard tower is complete. I'm going to go on, however, and I'm going to start building the second building here, which is going to be the little house on the side. Alright, so let's take a look at this little house. You can see it's 7 blocks wide, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 on either side of the middle block. And then on the other side it sticks out, well, only 1 actually, from the tower. And then on this side it sticks out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th is the wall. So let's grab a little wool block, like this, and let's count it out. Okay, so it's going to be 7 wide, so 1 and 3, right, so now it's 7. So it's going to be 7 wide, and what did I say? It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th is the wall, like that. That's going to be our shape. Door is going to be over there, and on this side it's stuck out only 1. So it's going to look a bit weird, but we're going to make it work on the inside. Okay, so that's the shape of your house going to be. And I imagine that this house is an attachment, right, to the building. So the tower is old, and the current wizard that lives in the tower has built this house on the side as an extra little bit of living space. So the house is going to be made of different materials. So let's go get those materials. I won't be using roll edit from now on, only for this little trick. So any survival or vanilla builders or bedrock edition builders will have the time of their life watching me manually place the things that they always have to place manually. Okay, I kind of have all of my materials here. Alright, so I always start my buildings by placing the frames. So always the corners first. They have to look special. Don't have to do. I often make them look a little bit different than the rest of the build to kind of frame the build again to define the shape a little bit more. So let's see how high up these need to go. So our wool was over here, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Only 3. Okay. Let's get that back into my inventory. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, like that. Up from the orange. Okay, and then extend it down into the ground, right? Because otherwise it's going to look weird. Okay. Oh, like that. So then let's get our materials for the foundation. So this is going to form the stone foundation that everything is built on. So you're going to place that underneath the orange. So just place randomly, cobblestone or tuff. Doesn't really matter which place you place them. I'm going to do it differently every time as well. Like that. That one doesn't need any. Okay. So that's all that we have to do. Then we can go over to our little spruce lining. Like here, that separates, again, the white bit from the stone bit. And because it's a staircase, it creates a little ledge. So, I'll use this ledge over here. Like that. I'll use it over... And I'll use it over here. You'll see that this looks a little bit strange with this block here, so I'm going to just use a full spruce block in that space right here. Connect that up, and I'm going to make the bottom of stone as well, stone and tuff, so that it still looks like it's still set on a foundation, okay? Now on this side we're going to have the door. So I'm going to be using normal blocks next to the door, because otherwise it'll look a tiny bit strange. But then again, underneath this little bit of staircase, let's place some stone. Okay. Let's do that on these sides as well. There's no weird little rules I use here, just place them down. Okay, then up to the rest of the building, which is going to be plastered or at least whitewashed. So we're going to be using diorite, wool, and calcite, where diorite is going to be my most varied, weathered looking block, like that. Then use some wool around it and fill the rest in with calcite. Easy as that. You get a nice pattern. Be sure to always have some wool near the diorite and to always have the calcite away from the diorite. That way you'll get a nice gradient from not so clean to very clean. So I'm going to use a lot here on this corner because it's against the wall, so it'll be a bit more wary, a bit less pretty. Like that. Just do it like that. And just kind of make it a bit more random, right? So there's no real rule, just stick in some random things. Like that. That looks fine. Alright, so now over to the house part, because of course it's going to have a pointy roof. So just build your little point in the roof like this. Make it a bit random. Use some calcite, use some wool. Like that. Okay, let's do the same on the other side. Wool, some calcite, some more calcite, maybe a little bit of diorite, a little bit of wool, a little bit of calcite. Okay, so that's the points of our roof done. So now we can get over to building the roof. So let's grab the roof tiles. It's going to be brick, stairs, and slabs. You can use spruce, you can use oak, whatever you feel like. I'm going to use brick. So, very simple. Just place the roof on top and replace those stairs that get in the way. like this. And on top, put the slab. Okay, so we're just going to be filling this in real quick. Like that. Ooh. Like that. And then we're going to be adding the eaves, and the eaves of this roof are going to be very simple. They're just going to be brick. Right, so just extend the roof over and place stairs underneath. And in the middle, I always use an upside down staircase, like that. It's kind of the happy middle ground between this, which looks a bit weird, and this, which looks a bit weird. So I always use stairs. Okay, so we're going to do that on this side too. Like that. Okay, so then another thing you're going to have to do is add a little ledge over here, because we have the depth and the contrast and light and dark and light again over here. We don't have it over here yet, so I use slabs in this space, right? Be sure to add it underneath as well. You could also use staircases, but I think that looks a bit too much for this building, so I'm just using slabs, like that. Okay, so that's most of our roof already done. Okay, let's take a look at this weird little window thing over here, okay? So we have 2 blocks of white and then a window. And the window is going to contain building blocks on top, okay? So that's something important to remember because it will help you structure the rest. So the window is here, 2 blocks of white on the side, and it's going to have building blocks on top. Okay, and let's look at what I did. So I made the roof a little bit taller because I wanted the window to be too tall and to still fit underneath the roof. So I went with staircases going up like that, and then a slab and a staircase down again. It's the main kind of shape, and then I filled the rest in over top, and it will all be very natural, you'll see. So I placed the staircases like this, slab on top. What did I do then? Built a staircase on top? Just a slab. Okay. Just a slab, and that slab that continues going up by 1 slab every block, like that, so it connects up to the rest of the window. Then slabs on top of here, and now it looks a bit weird, right? So for vanilla players, if you don't use World Edit, I'd suggest just do this. Just place the staircases into the wall, but I like them a bit different, so I'm going to place a block here. You're going to have to get back your replace tool, right? So I'm going to left click this block with the corner in it to select it to replace. I'm going to right click these 2. So now they are corner blocks. I'm going to do the same thing here. Like that. And now your roof is fixed. You do have to watch out that you don't accidentally place something next to it, because that's going to ruin it again. So keep your replace tool handy. Okay, let's get our cyan glass again. And very simple shutters, just to do something special. To kind of frame the window, make it look a bit more interesting. Place the shutters next to it. Now I'm going to be putting in a window here. It's going to not make a lot of sense right now, but as we do the interior in the 3rd part of the video, it's going to make a lot of sense. Okay? So, what's next? We have a door on this side, which is a very easy addition, and a little window. So let's go over to the door, which I think is actually over there. Well, who cares? It can be wherever it wants to be, right? We know how the rules work of building this. So like that, we can place in a door on top of a big andesite block, okay? Place it in, punch in the window, like that. I didn't do it on the other build, but you can add a little shutter here if you want. Do whatever you feel like, okay? So that now is an entrance to the building, and that is all of the little house completely done. So now we can get onto building the little foliage and doing the interiors. Now I'm going to be doing the interiors first. I'm not going to be placing in furniture. You can do that yourself. I'll make a video showing off what I made up for this. But we're just going to be placing in floors for now, right? And I'm going to show you a couple ways how I do that. So, get your axe, select both corners of the room, and do / set oak planks, like that. Okay. Then we have this tower bit here, and I'm going to break a door, right? I'm not going to get rid of everything, because I want you to know and feel that we go into the big tower, okay? So I'm going to leave this open, and I'm going to do the same thing here. See? We found our window back. Okay. So that's what that looks like. Now we're going to need a way to get up here, so I'm going to use spruce slabs right here. And I'm going to get some stone brick stairs, like this, to frame these corners to make it look like archways. Now over here I'm going to use bricks, just complete blocks, and a slab to do that. And why I do that will become clear in a bit. First, I'm going to be making these transitions a bit smoother, using staircases. We'll make it look a bit more like arches, a bit more gothic, a bit more like it's actually supported. Okay, so now we're going to be putting in the next floor. I'm going to do that with spruce planks, and you're going to do it on this level, so you get right into this window. Okay, and now you can see why I didn't use the staircases here, because now we still have a little lip, right? Okay, because if I were to do this is a flat transition, it looks a bit weird, so put the slab there, put the blocks there. Okay, just fill this all in. It's not too many blocks. If you're in survival, you can use slabs, that will save you a little bit of wood. I'd say use blocks on the edge, but use slabs in the middle, that'll work fine. And I'm just gonna punch a random block here to make a little ladder. Right, so we can have a little ladder coming up for our little wizard man to climb on top of. Okay. So now you can see we have a window here, we have a new window there. You can choose, I suppose in this case, to build the next floor over here. Have the two windows in both of the rooms. Will look pretty cool. You place the staircases here, like that. To kind of make the archways again. Okay. So you can fill this in, like this. But if you're going to be using this in survival and you maybe need a bit more floor space, you may want to add another floor here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab slabs. And I'm going to be a bit creative here, right? So I'm going to be building a little balcony here. That you can choose to get onto. So you can be down here, or you can just climb the ladder a bit further up to here. So you can place maybe a bed, maybe some bookshelves. You can do whatever. Right, so let's make this on the diagonal. So you have half the tower and half the tower. Like that. Okay? You can make supports for that, just like that. Very easy. Feels very supported, feels very sturdy. Right, so now let's make a ladder to go up to the next floor. I'm going to do that over here. Up to here. And here you will have either a floor with not a lot of sunlight, if you place your floor there. Now you can also just choose to place your floor up here. So this will be a bit taller of a room as well, but I think taller rooms fit the wizard aesthetic, right? So I'm going to grab some walls, like that. And this might be a place for a bit more dangerous experiments that are a bit sensitive to sunlight, or whatever. And you can still, of course, make a little balcony type thing, so you can climb up to the window if you want to. Like that, so you can look out of your tower. Okay. So now we're up here. I'm going to be placing these logs here as supports for the roof. If you put the floor in here, that might make the room look very small. So maybe you don't want to do that then. But I will do it anyways. And place some slabs here to make the roof look a bit more spectacular. Then we're going to dig down through one of the things. I'm going to place a new ladder in for little wizard to get up. You can, if you want, add a little trapdoor here. Don't have to, but you can. And then for this window, this roof here, I'd say make something up yourself, grab some slabs, make it pretty, grab some staircases. I'm just going to make it a very simple pattern, like that. Like this, okay? That's very simple, very doable. I'm going to now go back to our entire build with some dark oak slabs. Right, and fit in dark oak slabs in certain spaces. Now it might be a bit hard to see in the video because of the shader I'm using. But it looks good enough, right? Using the little bit of contrast in here to make the roof look supported. Okay, so you can also do that here if you want. I think this looks better in just spruce. But down here, you can certainly do that and add little roof supports, right? Because ceilings need to be supported, otherwise they fall down. It makes your room immediately look a lot more interesting if you use anything like this, okay? You can do any fun pattern you feel like, as long as it kind of makes a little bit of sense. It looks amazing, okay? So I'm going to be using that right here, and back here I'm going to use spruce. I'm going to be building it like this, okay? There's, I guess, two ways to do this. You could also just grab your spruce stairs, like that. Just build it like that. But I think I like being able to see the brick, so it looks really rustic and really handmade. So now you have your little rafters to put your roof tiles on. Okay, so that was the interiors of this place. Now let's do the outside. So let's grab a shovel. Let's get rid of my torch. So I just made a little path going here. You can make the path look however you want to. Like that, little path. Fine, done. Don't touch it anymore. And then on the other side I built a couple of shrubberies, and I'm going to teach you how I do those. So if we fly over here, you can see we're using the new azalea and the flowering azalea, some spruce fences, and we're using some leaves and some birch fences. Okay, so let's get over here. So first of all, I had a little growing climbing plant here, right? So we can build that just by placing down some leaves in kind of a snaky pattern. Doesn't have to be all too thick, and placing these underneath. By the way, the special fluffy leaves are the BetterLeaves resource pack. I'll link to that as well in the description. It's not my own. Okay, so let's stick some of these in there. Not too much, I'd say about half can be flowers, and that looks already amazing. I think it looks better than the one on that side. Okay, then we also have a little bush somewhere, right? We have a bush there and a bush there. So let's build that. Now bushes, you don't want to be placing an entire block of just leaves, right? You want them to be a bit more airy so you can look through them a bit more. So I'm going to be placing down some fences that are going to be the little twigs for a bush. So on top of these fences, start off putting them on top, and then filling in where the bush grows naturally for the rest, okay? So like that, maybe a bit more like that. Yeah, that looks good. So then replace some of them with the flowering version, and that looks very pretty. Do the same over here, so I'm going to have a big bush growing in the side here. Place the leaves on top. Like that. Replace a couple of them with flowering stuff, and that looks very pretty. Now this technique works if you don't have the fluffy leaves as well. It still looks very pretty. Okay. Oh, this little roof tile got cancelled. Let's fix that. Okay. So now I also had a little tree over there. I'm going to be building that. So trees are very simple. All you have to do is So build some fences, the small trees at least, right? This isn't a big tree, I'm very much aware of that. Just place some fences down like that in kind of a tree shape. Get your birch leaves. I accidentally used azalea on the sample one, but I actually need to use birch. Stick them on top of the fences. Start with putting them on top first, and then add wherever you think they are necessary, like that. And now you have a pretty little tree added to your tower. And that's all we're gonna do today. I made it in just about 45 minutes. So in 45 minutes you can build your own amazing little mage tower. I'm sure of it. Now I'd like to thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope I inspired you. Anything, if I was useful, thank you. Leave a like. Tell me what you thought in the comments. Any tips, any tricks, any questions? Go ask him. I also have a Discord server and a Twitch. You should check them out. And I will see you next time. Bye!